some news in the MMA world, and we're also going over our UFC champs a year from now. We have a lot for you in store. How are you doing, brother? You feeling good?
Doing great, man. Can't lie. This is one of the episodes that I look forward to the most out of the whole year. You know, it's one of our only couple yearly traditions that we've done. I think this will be our third time doing it. I'm a little bummed about the results from the UFC Abu Dhabi card, but it was a great card, and we definitely have a guy at bantamweight in Umar Nurmagomedov. What was your takeaway from him defeating Corey Sandhagen via unanimous decision? Looks like he's getting the next title shot after Sugar Marab.
I mean, just dominance. As much as I hate to say it, I think he's the best bantamweight in the world.
It's scary, bro. He's a scary guy.
It's just scary because I think Sugar beats Marab. But it's just like, okay, he beats Marab, then he fights Umar. You can't just keep beating multiple guys like that, dude. Like, these guys are dogs. And I was thinking this earlier, like, even if he does beat Umar, which is very well possible, if he beats Marab and beats Umar, like, that run of who he's beat is very special. If he comes around and if he goes 2-0 the next fights, the two, like, I mean, even if you want to count Irion, like, those are special wins.
And Aljo, those are 4 top-tier bantamweight wins right there, dude.
Like, he's already fought Peter Yan, who at a time people were saying was the best bantamweight ever. He knocked out Aljo, who people said was the best bantamweight ever. Like, and then you fight a wrestler in Marab, and then you're fighting an up-and-coming guy, gonna be 18-0 when you guys meet Umar. Like, that's a resume if he is to knock off these next 2 guys.
Caught my mute real quick. You know what would really cap it off? Just a name after Sugar beats Umar. Little Jose Aldo, last bantamweight fight.
Yeah, I think at that point it's like you just give him who he wants.
And I think he would want Aldo.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, he's fought fucking
striker.
3 wrestlers in a row. Like, at that point, give me like, God.
And I feel like say Sugar does get through Marab and Umar, he kind of has the respect for Jose Aldo just because he's a legend in the game, and as a businessman, that would do huge numbers. So I like a little Marab, Umar, Jose Aldo, and then move up to featherweight. I like that path for Sugar for the next year and a half or 2 years. And that would put him in the top 5 GOAT conversation if he wins all those fights.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to start talking about it. I mean, obviously it happens fast, and like we'll talk about it in a little bit, but like that's what happens in this sport. Like, stuff happens fast, and we'll talk about it when we get to a year from now. Is like it happens fast, but it doesn't. Like, a year you have 2 fights.
Depends on the division. Sometimes the belt's only defended 1 time in a year, or less than 1 if it's heavyweight. And then it depends on who the champ is. If you got a Volkanovski style champ, that belt's going to be on the line 3-4 times a year. So it's just a lot of variables.
I mean, obviously I hope no matter what, but I really hope even more so now that Sugar beats Marab, because I don't want to see a Marab and Umar title fight. That's great.
UFC don't want that either. It would be a cool fight, like high skilled grappling, but not in terms of sales.
But yeah, I mean, I think Umar's everything is advertised. It's hard to watch the Umar and Corey fight and think that Umar wouldn't do the same to Sugar, if we're being real.
I don't know. I get that, but it felt like Corey never really let loose on the feet. And I get that because he did an amazing job defending the takedowns. But then at the same time, defending takedowns doesn't necessarily win you the fight. So I feel like Corey needed to take a few more risks, which I feel like Sugar would do, but it's obviously easier said than done when you're in there fighting a freak like Umar. Yeah, but I mean, the first 3 rounds, I couldn't score them. They were razor thin. Umar was probably winning with the takedown because he'd get a takedown in the last minute to 45 seconds of every round and then kind of hold that position. But then in the 4th and 5th, Umar definitely took a hold of the fight, and there was no doubt after that. So, I mean, yeah, dude, it looks like there might be another Nurmagomedov as a champ. Scary to say.
We're not going out like that, bro. We're not going out like that.
I remember Sugar said it a long time ago. He wanted that Nurmagomedov on his resume, though. He wanted to have that build up, do what Conor couldn't, beat one of those guys. And Umar's built up now. Yeah. About the co-main event, Shara Bullet. I said I needed to see another one from him, and it's safe to say we did. He was just kind of a step ahead of Michael Olek the whole time. Olek did drop him in the first 10 seconds, actually, so I take that back. But after those first 10 seconds, it was all Shara Bullet. Do you have someone that you like for him next? Do you give him a ranked opponent? He called out Nick Diaz, but I think we should just throw that call out in the trash because it's the opposite of the type of fighter that Shara Bullet needs to fight next.
I don't know. It's hard. It just depends what do you want to do with them and where do you look at him as in the UFC. I mean, do they want to fast track him? Do they want to keep waiting? I think Michael Olek was a good test and a good matchup. And I think I learned more from these last two fights from him than I have in the previous fights because he goes the distance, he goes the later rounds, and you learn a lot more. Like beating someone 30-27, 30-27, 29-28 is pure dominance. So I'm more impressed with his last two fights than I think I am in any other fight. So I'm not opposed to him getting a top 15 guy.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Roman Kopylov's name getting thrown out there, and I liked that matchup a lot. Shara Bullet versus Kopylov. That would be tough. But at the same time, I think I've been saying it. Shara Bullet, he has top-tier striking at that middleweight division, but we just haven't seen him prove himself in the grappling department yet. We weren't really going to see it this fight with Michael Olek because he's not a grappling specialist. But when you look at the middleweight rankings, he's going to have to beat at least 2 or 3 really tough grapplers, either a Vettori or a Fluffy Hernandez or a Hamza. He's there. Roman Dolidze, Brendan Allen. Those guys are all very, very good grapplers. And then even the guys that aren't grappling specialists, the other ones at the top of middleweight, most of them still could win a fight on the ground if they needed to.
They're well-rounded. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Shara Bullet's going to be making a push towards the top of the division in the next 2 or 3 years, but he's a young guy. I think he's only 27, 28 years old. So I think once he kind of develops his whole martial arts and his grappling a little bit more, he's going to be up there, but not quite yet. How about the next fight, the feature bout?
I think it's safe to say that. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that Suga might have ended Cheeto's career.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, regardless of how the Suga fight went, I would have predicted Figgy to win, and I would have kind of seen it going this way. We both predicted it before or did you have Cheeto?
Yeah, I had Cheeto.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know. I've always said it. I think Cheeto's a one-shot guy. He takes a lot of punches, doesn't get tired, stays in the pocket, and lands that knockout shot. But when he doesn't land it, it doesn't look pretty for him. It's kind of how this Figgy fight went. He did start to pick it up in that third round. But I mean, yeah, dude, I don't think Cheeto has another push towards the title in him. He could still have some good fights though.
How far is Figgy from the championship?
Can't be more than 2 fights.
Would you rather see Aldo and Suga or Figgy and Suga?
Me personally, Jose Aldo. And I think no one's picking Figgy over Aldo if you have those 2 names in front of you in terms of a business standpoint. But I mean, Figgy's a former champ, defended the belt, and he has 3 good wins at bantamweight now. So
yeah,
we can't just hold him down there forever. I heard Figgy versus Peter Yan could be a really good next fight. Why not? I remember you were saying that 1 or 2 fights ago, right?
Yeah, I'll just give it to him early. Because, I mean, realistically, bro, like, he's a former champ, like you just said. How many times does a former champ or, like, just lost a title fight go up and have to fight 2 or 3 times the next class before they get a title shot?
Yeah. I think it
mean,
kind of depends on.
Pereira had one fight. Usman was gonna have one fight at 85. Like,
it's tough at bantamweight too, especially when you're not a huge name, just because there's so many guys that have arguments for a title shot or a title eliminator in that division. I think it was a little easier to make the case for Pereira getting that immediate title shot at light heavyweight, even coming, or no, he had one fight before he fought Jan. But yeah, I don't know. Bantamweight's just a hard division to climb up.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely a deep division, so I could definitely see that. But I don't know. I mean, I look at Figgy as
You lagged a little there. You said you look at Figgy as a.
like, I still think Figgy's an elite guy. I think that I wouldn't be mad if he got a title shot.
I agree. And he looks good at bantamweight. He doesn't look small. He just looks like a natural 135er. And the next fight of the night, a heartbreaker, but we can't say we didn't see it coming. I convinced myself, as I always do, that Tony Ferguson was going to go in there and just look like a different version of himself. But unfortunately, he did not. Michael Chiesa submits Tony in it was the first round, right? Yeah, it was the first round. Tony left one glove in the octagon, kept one on, said, I'm not sure yet. He said, I don't want to be done. I mean, the UFC doesn't give him another fight, right?
At some point, at some point, they have to make him be done. Like, bro, like, we have to cut you.
I just hope we don't see a video of Tony Ferguson like we saw with BJ Penn later on in his years, getting knocked out in a street fight. I just hope Tony doesn't fall to those levels without having a UFC fight to train for, because, I mean, these fighters, they put their whole lives into their craft. So once they walk away from that, I'm sure there's just a huge, huge void that has to be filled. We got a little insight into that with Volkanovski when he kind of opened up about it. We've heard other fighters talk. But yeah, man, I hope that Tony Ferguson can channel his energy into something else. I mean, I don't know if I'd want him as my coach if I was an up-and-coming fighter, but maybe he could go coach some guys out there, develop some fighters.
He's just one of those guys where, like, his whole life is fighting and you can't see him doing anything else. So it's like, what does he do?
Dude, you know what's also kind of nuts about MMA and the UFC is that, this is the 30th anniversary of the UFC. So we haven't seen a huge sample size of fighters, in their retired years. We have the one era right now, like the Chuck and Tito era, Mark Coleman. It's about like the pioneers of MMA. I guess you could go back to Shamrock, but I don't know, dude. It might be scary to see these guys in 30, 40 years after a whole career of getting hit in the head. So I don't know, dude. It's kind of a trip to think about. And then the love of my life.
Yeah, that is crazy to think about. It's still a fairly new sport, bro. Like 30 years isn't long.
Bro, compared to the NBA, Magic and Larry Bird hadn't happened yet in terms of how many years the league had been around. If you put the UFC and the NBA next to each other. Or I think, like, for the NFL, they wouldn't have even merged with the AFL, and the Super Bowl wouldn't have even existed yet if you put the UFC and the NFL on a timeline and started them together. So, like I always say, we're still in the caveman ages. I think judging will look totally different. I don't really know how. I don't have the answer. But we kind of MMA kind of took the judging system from boxing and just, crafted it for MMA a little bit, but not fully. Still kind of, it prioritizes winning rounds over damage. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be way different in this sport in a couple of decades. And then Mackenzie Dern. I love her. She won by unanimous decision. Won me some money. Woof woof. Azamat Mirzakhanov. He whooped Alonzo Menifield on the main event of the prelims, or maybe the second main fight, but he looked really good. And he is a fun guy to watch. He just goes in there and looks to put on entertaining fights. So I would not be surprised if we see him on the main card of a pay-per-view next. Boom.
Mm.
Anything else from this card stand out for you?
I liked Jai Herbert.
Yeah, people forget he almost had Ilya out of there. He almost had
Yeah.
Ilya out of there.
I bet on him this fight. I like his length in this division. I'm not saying he's a guy, but I'm as impressed with him as a guy to keep a little stock on.
Yeah, 100%. Always a fun guy to bet on. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can drop Ilya, then you've got some action at featherweight.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We got a few stories, a few things when I was scrolling through some MMA headlines I sent over your way that were kind of interesting. We'll start off with Biker McGregor. I don't have the picture in here, but if y'all saw, McGregor was, I think he was in Sturgis, which is the really big biker city. He was bald with the leather jacket, just looking like he's never going to fight again, to be honest. He was partying. There's a video where he was, getting jiggy with a midgie. Michael Chandler even tweeted. I should have put that tweet in here, but he tweeted, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not fighting Conor McGregor. And then he put a little insult in there. So if Michael Chandler has lost hope, is there any reason that any of us should have hope that McGregor might fight again?
I mean, like I said from the beginning, I never believe it. So I think if Chandler's losing hope, you just feel for Michael Chandler, man, because he was so active.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his decision. He gambled on it, took a gamble, and he might lose. But you just feel for him, man, because you feel like he just. I mean, in the end, it could be good. Maybe he needed some time off, but he was like in his prime years. He was super active, and then he wants this Conor fight, so he wants to wait forever. Finally gets it, and then now it's just like, damn. I mean, obviously, Conor and Chandler fights always. Anybody versus Conor is a big time fight, but like you got to look at it now as like I wouldn't mind a Chandler and Holloway.
That's who Chandler called out for the BMF belt. I mean, but I don't know where that really fits into the schedule because we got Max and Ilya booked for Abu Dhabi. So I guess after that, either way, if Max wins or loses, he could either go defend the BMF belt or go defend the BMF belt. It sucks for Chandler though.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't think that fight's happening anytime soon.
Nah, probably not. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird though, dude. Like, why would McGregor sign the contract and commit to fighting that much if he's just not going to do it? It's just weird.
Do you think anything that he does makes sense, or that he does anything with like thinking of the future, or does in that moment?
I was about to say, I guess at that point, when your words have that much magnitude, he could just wake up one day and genuinely 100% want to go fight, say it, sign the contract, and then a week later, he's like, I'm good. So,
yeah,
that's true. That shit, bro. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Sucks, though. I think we're kind of to the point as MMA fans where we're over McGregor completely. Like, he's not doing anything for the sport anymore. Obviously, he did a bunch for this sport in his prime years, but
it's like the rant I went on earlier a couple weeks ago. Like, we don't need him anymore. Thank you for your service. Like, you helped get the sport to where it is. But right now, at this point, like, we've done numbers. We've evolved without you. Like, we've grown without you. So we don't need you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure on the night when Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje, almost as many people were talking about that as the night McGregor knocked out Aldo. It was a similar scale. Obviously, it wasn't just Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. It was the fact that it was UFC 300 and the sport's so much bigger than it was when McGregor knocked out Aldo. But yeah, we can get to that point without McGregor, even if it's not one guy getting us to that point. As a collective sport and a group, all hyping it up, we can get there. And we're going to get past there this year and next year. I like how we're talking like we have stock in the company or something like that.
Hey, we do.
In our hearts. All right, now this is one that we don't really like about the company. I don't know if it's really the UFC's fault. It's mainly Disney that I have to blame. They're struggling with all their bad business moves, and now they're taking it out on us. If you're one of the honest people out there that actually subscribes to ESPN Plus, maybe pays for a pay-per-view here and there, Disney's going to be raising the prices once again to $11.99, up another dollar. So $12 a year. Obviously, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the principle of it. Disney has a lot more money than we do, so why are they taking it out of our pockets? What does $12 mean to them? That's 2 lunches for me. So
Yeah, so it's $12. So it's $12 a month now.
Yeah. Remember when it was 5?
Damn, dude. I remember that shit when I first got it. It was $4.99 when I first got it.
And there wasn't really that much. There wasn't that much less on.
I mean,
it.
I was thinking about this. Yeah, there really. I mean, I think about it now. I don't really use ESPN Plus. I watch some golf. I watch some baseball, some college basketball, some college football, but I can do without it. I just don't want to cancel it because it's like, why?
Yep. Yeah, college basketball. And
but as far as for UFC goes, I don't need ESPN Plus for UFC.
Yeah, you got a way around. You got a big way around that.
I mean, now that I think about it, I do watch the prelims probably on it.
It's nice.
Mostly
it's nice
the prelims
to just be able to like log in.
The fight cards, yeah.
Honestly, the thing I like it the most for is being able to watch like the Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter, any old fight. Like if you ever want to watch film, most of them are on ESPN Plus. So I do like their catalog and all the like the documentaries, and they have a bunch of shows like that for all sports. I also do use it for like Formula One. But dude, so the UFC's TV deal ends or their ESPN deal ends in 2025. Say an Amazon Prime or I don't know, Apple TV, since we're in the future now, or some other streaming service made an offer and the UFC decided that they wanted to part ways with ESPN. What would you be happy with that? Would you be bummed?
I don't know. I think I'm just so comfortable and used to ESPN. I would just prefer to stay on ESPN. Like you said, it's the convenience. I go on my ESPN app. I go on ESPN Plus. I turn on the prelims in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that on an Amazon or whatever these other ones are. Like, I love the convenience because I'm on the ESPN app all day. Any sport, I'm always on ESPN app. Like, other than like social media apps, I'm on ESPN app a lot. So the convenience of like, hey, I'm already checking this score. Let's go watch the UFC fight. Like, that's the convenience of it being on ESPN. And I think I like that. And I don't mind paying for that convenience.
That's true. I will say the one big complaint I have with ESPN is that they will show the same commercial 400 times on one night. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. There's no other sporting event I have ever watched where they will show the same 3 commercials on loop the whole entire 8 hours. I literally think it's like some mind control CIA stuff where they're trying to drive us crazy, because I'll be going nuts, dude, hearing the same commercial over and over and over again. Like, why would they not want to have more people paying for advertising slots? Or it'll just play the little ESPN Plus, your event is in commercial break or whatever, just on loop. Bro, that's like psychotic to do that for 8 hours in a row. So they better figure that out on the new TV deal, because that pisses me off, especially when you're with a group of people and you're the one like arguing for the fights to be on. And then like after every round, it's the same commercial playing like twice. Like, it'll play the commercial, play another commercial, and then play that commercial again, and then go back. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
So I don't love Disney. Obviously, ESPN has a soft spot in my heart just because like we grew up on it. And when we were kids, it was something way different than what it is now. It like used to just be pure sports, I feel like.
Yeah.
Now it just kind of sucks. You
Yeah.
always see the tweets about how different Sports Center used to be, like when you would just have all the topics on the left side, like this right here. It used to be like this.
That was
And,
vintage.
dude, oh my gosh. I don't know why they would
Remember
go
the
away
old Remember the old school scoreboards for like college basketball or like college football? Those were so vintage, like the black, white, and red. Those were so tough.
That's digging deep, but we barely even had that, huh?
Dude, old Sports Center was the best.
Oh, yes.
That shit was vintage.
All the anchors were elite. SVP and Anderson were still there, but then it was Scott Stewart. RIP.
Yeah, facts. RIP Stewie.
They weren't. I guess there wasn't really anywhere up to go from there. They should have just kept it the same.
Yeah. No one would be complaining right now.
Yeah. All right. Is it time to get into the highly anticipated UFC champs?
It's time, baby.
In a year from now. Let's go. I love this part so much. I don't think I have our last year's predictions on here, but
I want to see them.
They weren't pretty. I'll say I had Dricus. I had Volk at 145 and 155 because we made the predictions right after UFC 290 after he manhandled Yair. So I was like, his next fight, he's gonna beat Islam. He's gonna defend.
And you see it in person. It's like something. You see it in person. It's different.
That's why I picked Dricus too. We were there when he beat Bobby Knuckles. It was right after that. So
yeah,
it's crazy how much can change in a year, though. So without further ado, we got updated graphics. Look at that. Every year you get better and better. Next year it'll be something crazy.
Here we go. So my reasoning for these picks was when we did our picks last year, I didn't take account into like how lit. No, I want to say how little they fight, but like a year's 2 fights, sometimes 1, but on average it's 2 fights. So it's not far off. So like what you kind of see from now is kind of what you'll see a year from now.
Yeah, you got the next title fight that we all know, and then you got maybe one more fight, and that's the one that you're picking. Yeah.
So for flyweight here, I'm gonna go Steve Erceg. I think he beats Kaikara France, and I think he gets the rematch with Pantoja, and he gets the job done.
I like that. I'm going with my guy, Tatsuro Taira. I've been preaching his name from the rafters for a while. One more big win, and then a title shot. So, boom, look at that graphics. Elite, baby. All right.
That looks
Bantamweight,
beautiful.
not too much to be said here.
Yeah. Check the color of the show. Check the reason we started this show. You know where we're going. The Sugar Show is going to be the champion a year from now. And you're lucky I didn't go to the Sugar Show champion in the featherweight. So, Sugar Show coming to you. Will still be your 2025.
If Umar didn't already kind of have a clear next title shot, I would have put Sugar for featherweight as well. But I think they're going to make Sugar fight Umar after he beats Merab. So he won't fight for the 145 belt till probably like next fall.
Yeah.
Got to be thinking ahead like that. It's tough.
Yeah. So for my 45 champion, I think personally a year from now we'll be talking about him as one of the most dominant champions, not ever, but like just currently, and I think it's Ilia Topuria. I think he's dominant. I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. I hope Max gets it done and finds a way, but I just don't see it. He's a whole other level right now. He's too fast, too quick, too good.
Yeah, bro. Seeing him in person, I didn't see any holes. I'm not going to lie. I was looking for holes. Even if he did get by Volk that night, I was like, what could I see that Max could use against him? And I didn't see much, but fuck it. I'm going Max Holloway, baby. It worked on UFC 300. I didn't have a great reason with my head, but I had a reason with my heart. He's got the Hawaiian spirit. He said he might not be the fastest, he might not be the most skilled, but he has that one-way ticket to crazy land, baby. And he knows how to turn it on. And maybe he takes Ilya into deep waters, puts him in cardio hell. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll know about this one real soon. And then Volk most likely fights the winner.
it's crazy, but yeah.
Like, you can't deny him. You can't deny Volk the title shot, right? After like defending featherweight for 4 times or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You think people would be mad about Max Volk 4?
I don't know, because they're legends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not mad at it one bit.
Yeah, run
If
that
Ilya's
shit
out
back,
of the
bro.
equation.
That's like a classic rivalry, bro. It's like seeing the Celtics and Lakers in the finals again, or the LeBron versus the Warriors in the finals again. We'll watch that shit 1,000 times.
That's facts. And it's not like it was tailor-made, like they were forcing it. They were trying to force anything but that happening, but Max and Volk are just forcing their way back to this spot.
Yeah.
All right. Lightweight. There's a little bit of speculation here, I guess. If you think Islam might move up and vacate lightweight, which I don't know. I don't think people are going to, buying that ticket. So what do you got here for lightweight?
Islam. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I try to, that's when I get myself in trouble, when I try to get too smart and too cute with it.
Yeah.
So
that's why I was like, I'll live with the results.
I did that last year. I tried to get too cute
with
it.
Is there a way? And if there is a way, who?
I mean, Sarayuki, and he had a close fight with him in the first one. If he has the fight of his life, maybe. Or if Islam, there's talks that he's hurt. That's why he's not headlining Abu Dhabi. Well, he is hurt. So they might do an interim bout. I don't know if they will, but yeah, dude. Right now, I don't really know anyone that's a true threat that's up there at 155.
Yeah.
We said it. This guy's going to run that shit for a while. Once he beat Charles that night, he said we're in for an era. But I'll give it to Islam. We said it was going to be a boring era of 5-round decisions of him blanketing people, and it hasn't been that so far. It's been fun, entertaining fights with good build-ups.
Yeah, he's had really good fights.
Let me get that one up there. Islam Makhachev, no surprises.
Welterweight, I think he gets the next shot within a year. I don't know if he gets the next shot, but I think he gets a shot within a year. I think it's Shavkat Rakhmonov. If it's Bilal, which I think it is, I think he can beat Bilal. I'll take my chances on that he beats Bilal. Mostly because I just don't want to see Bilal be the champion a year from now.
Nobody does. I mean, there's an okay chance that it happens. You can't deny the fact that Bilal's very good at what he does and that he is a tough fight for anybody. Dude, welterweight's the most interesting division for me, though, because I think there's like 5 or 6 guys that have a higher than a 10% chance of being the champ next year. Like Shavkat, he has a chance. Usman has a chance. Kamaru, Jack Dela has a chance. Ian Gary has a chance. So I guess 4 guys. And then you also got Leon just kind of hanging around, former champ. So I guess 5 people that have somewhat of a chance of being the welterweight champ. So this one, I kind of just took a stab here, to be honest. Going with my guy, Jack Dela Maddalena. Not a super smart year. That's the thing. I was trying to map that out. He wins his next fight, maybe against Kamaru Usman or an Ian Gary or a Shavkat, however the cards may fall. And then he fights the winner of the next title fight. Hopefully that happens in the winter. Or I mean the title fight happens in the winter, and then Jack Dela gets a fight in right before the deadline, sometime early summer, and he gets that belt. So that's a little bit of a weird one, but welterweight, I feel like Shavkat's the right answer right there right now. But I don't know. I want her to be different.
Okay. Middleweight. I think we had it last time. We're going to stay with it again. The man, the last style bender. Israel Adesanya, baby. Let's fucking go. He's going to beat Dricus, and then he's going to beat the winner of Whitaker and Hamzat if that happens. And he's going to be the champ, baby. Then he's going to beat Strickland. Let's fucking go. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait for that shit. I can't wait for him to fucking beat Dricus and have the belt wrapped around him again. Oh, my God. I'm going to cry. I'm going to get chills, bro. I'm going to get chills. I can't fucking wait. Can't fucking wait.
Oh
wait.
man, I did it again. I went Dricus Duplessis
Oh, he's gonna beat
again.
Izzy?
Dude, I picked him last year because I thought that he would beat Izzy, and him and Izzy have not fought yet. So I'm like, shit, man, I got to stay true to my guns. I still got to have Dricus in that fight, which I did a year ago. So I didn't like to type it out, but I did. I typed out Dricus, and we saw him and Whitaker in the first fight. You don't know if it's going to go like that again. And I think Whitaker beats Hamzat. So I kind of think Dricus beats Izzy and then beats Whitaker again. So I don't know. There's a path there for it.
Obviously I want Izzy to win, but I think Izzy does win. But worst comes to worst, I think Dricus and Whitaker is a really good fight again.
Yeah, because I don't think we saw the best version of Whitaker that night.
Yeah,
it was just so that made me think Whitaker was done because he got dropped with that jab.
Yeah.
But then it's like, does Dricus just have crazy power like that? But then why didn't he drop Strickland?
Yeah.
It's crazy sport. Crazy sport we love to talk about.
Yeah. Light heavy. I got a little boring. I'm just gonna go Poatan. Because I don't see anybody at light heavyweight that can beat him. And I just think that it's 2 fights. I think he can go 2-0 his next 2. Who's next for him at light heavy?
I mean, apparently Ankalaev already has Ankalaev's manager said that he already has a fight booked. I don't know who else it would be besides him.
Yeah. Yeah, I just play it safe here. I'll go Poatan.
Yeah, I did. I went the other side. I went Ankalaev here. We still haven't seen Pereira against an elite grappler. And Ankalaev, he is a 205-pound Dagestani. He has those types of skills. So if you can get the fight to that area, I think there's a chance that he could do what people thought would happen to Poatan a while ago. So yeah, I'm going Ankalaev. I don't love it. I would rather Pereira be the champion. But yeah, dude, those two, Dricus and Ankalaev, I do not want that to happen, but it's just the names I wrote down.
And I'm looking at your last 3, JDM, Dricus, and Ankalaev. Real chance to go 0-3 there.
Shit, yeah, I took some stabs. We always got a chance.
I mean, realistically, I can go 0-3 too, but I think one of these guys, Shavkat, Izzy, and Pereira, one of them has the title a year from now.
Yeah, that sounds better than JDM, Dricus, and Ankalaev. That sounds a lot better. I want to hear your reasoning here. I obviously know already because I typed it in, but heavyweight champ a year from now.
My heavyweight champ a year from now is John Jones. And the reason he's the heavyweight champ a year from now is I just don't think they're ever going to strip the guy of his title. So I think he's going to.
Is that the reason?
Yeah, that's literally my reason. I think he's going to fight Stipe at some point. He's going to beat Stipe. I think he's not going to fight for another year or 2, and they're not going to strip the belt from him. They're just never going to take the belt from this dude. So that's my reasoning. It's not because I think he beats Aspinall, which I think he does. But I think the later it goes on, I don't know. But it's literally because I don't think they're taking the belt from this guy. I do not think so. Dana White loves John Jones. I don't think they're taking the belt away from John Jones. So that's my reason. Not because I think he's going to go 2-0. Not because I think he's going to defend the title more times. I do not think they're taking the belt from him. So the undisputed heavyweight title a year from now, a champion will be John Jones.
I love that. Defense. He's only going to have to defend it once against Stipe, but
yeah, beat Stipe, you're good.
Especially with Dana. Dana will be saying, John Jones beat the greatest heavyweight of all time. And you really want to take you really want to take the fucking belt from this guy?
I saw when they were like there was like a troll. They were like when they were about like have you heard the Alex Pereira allegations of him like raping the girl?
Yeah.
And they were like Dana, what do you think about this? Blah blah. And he's like, I don't know. One thing I'll tell you: if she walked in the room with John Jones, she's not walking out. That dude's a killer, man.
Bro, there was another one that was real. He was opening UFC. He was opening a pack of UFC cards up on the stage with some people, and he gets a sign. He opens it, and there's a signed Dustin Poirier, and then he just like flips to the next one, and it's just a regular ass John Jones card, And he goes, "Oh my God, this is the coolest card ever. Baddest man on the planet." And he's like showing the whole crowd right after he just pulled an autographed Dustin card that like actually was worth money. I feel like it's almost a comedy bit at this point. Like he's trolling us.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Bro, he brings it up every time. Like after Islam beat Dustin and just they say, "You think Islam's number one pound for pound?" Just goes on a 20-minute rant about John Jones. But anyway, I have Tom Aspinall. I think John does get stripped in a year from now. I mean, if he fights, I guess next summer isn't that far off. If he fights Stipe in November, he's only got to hold on for 8 more months. That's one signed contract, one pullout, and he still has the belt.
Yeah.
That's the path right there. A defense, a signed contract, and then a fight week pullout.
Yeah.
Aspinall for his 3rd interim title defense.
Yeah.
All right, so we also had a couple of our great listeners, mainly just our friends, also submit their picks for the champs in a year from now. I didn't put every list up here, but I did some percentages, or at least tried to. My math isn't the greatest, but here's what we got. It's a little small, but for flyweight, we actually had a 4-way tie for first place. This one was insane. It was split. A quarter of the votes went to each of these guys. 25% went to Moreno, 25% went to Urseg, 25% went to Tatsuro Taira, and 25% went to Pantoja. And that got me thinking, flyweight's not in a bad spot. If there's 4 guys that we think could be the champ a year from now, that's a good sign for the division. And then bantamweight, looks like our listeners be listening to us, except for a couple of them. We got 75% of the votes on Sugar Sean O'Malley, and then we got 25% on Merab. Gotta say, I'm surprised there's no Umar votes out there.
Yeah. You're assuming Merab beats Sugar and Umar if you're them, right?
That's a great, that is a crazy path for Merab right there. Not crazy, he can do it, but anyway, hey, and by the way, if y'all still want to send in a list, you got until the next card. That's the deadline. When the next card happens, that's the cutoff. All right, so for featherweight, we had 50% of our listeners taking Max Holloway, 25% taking Ilya, and then I think this is the wildest pick on the board. We got 25%. Might have just exposed our numbers right there. Going with Arnold Allen. You think Arnold Allen in a world has a chance?
Nah, not enough time.
That was my thing. Like, I'm not saying he's not a title caliber fighter one day, but that Max fight just kind of set him back too far to take it in a year from now.
Dude, I keep saying this, and because I don't believe it's real. It's crazy to think like Max Holloway has a legit chance of being the champion.
Who would have thought a few years ago?
I know.
I love it. He had to go up and take out the number 2 lightweight just to get himself really back in the conversation. I wonder if he doesn't beat Gaethje and he just beats another featherweight. Is he still guaranteed the title shot?
Nah, that was a big time win.
I feel like if it's against Ilya though, that kind of gives him action no matter what, because it's not Max Volt 4. Yeah. Anyway, I hope our listeners are right about this one. I really want it to be Max at featherweight.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, Max might be the closest right now to being double champ. Either him or Islam, right?
Yeah. I still think you go. I think you go Islam.
It's just crazy how if Gaethje beats Max, he's guaranteed that title shot next. But then Max knocks out Gaethje in the craziest way possible, but I guess he's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
If Max wants to fight for the 155 belt, does he have to fight again at a title eliminator, or does he kind of slot in there for a title shot since he already has that win over Gaethje?
I think if you're Max, to call for the title shot, you obviously win the belt, one defense, then you go up right away and you get the shot. I don't think if you're a champion, if you're going to go up, you have to do a title eliminator.
Yeah. Dude, Max has a crazy map. Imagine he beats Suga. Like if he were to beat Ilya, Suga gets his 2 wins. Whoever wins that fight's getting very high up there on the all-time rankings. But
yeah,
anyway,
for sure.
For lightweight, we had 75% of our listeners taking Islam, and then we had a 25% with Arman Saryukian. Some people just see something special in him, I guess. He was very young that first time he fought Islam, and he looked pretty good. And then at welterweight, got a little 50-50, just like us right here. Shavkat and JDM. I'm very happy if either of those guys are the champ. Those are 2 of my favorite guys on the roster right now. And then a middleweight, 75% for Izzy and 25% on Bobby Knuckles. I love that. I was honestly thinking about it, but then I realized he would have to be Izzy or Drekus, and neither of those have seemed like great matchups for him.
Without even looking, I already know who picked that.
Your boy?
Yeah, our third co-host sometimes. Big Bobby Knuckles fan.
Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen him on live streams if you're a real fan.
Yeah.
All right, light heavyweight, 75% on Poatan, 25% on Magomed Ankalaev. And then at heavyweight, no one agrees with you. No one sees your logic. But once you laid out the map, I'm like, that's not a 0% chance right there. That is a higher than. It's a higher than.
You're telling me for sure. So he's gonna fight Stipe, and we all think he beats Stipe, correct?
Yeah.
So he's gonna fight within a year after that.
I guess people are thinking he gets stripped, but Stipe resets the clock.
If he hasn't, exactly. Reset the clock. We're good for another year after that. He's gonna beat Stipe. They're gonna book the Aspinall fight. Something's gonna happen. Gonna get canceled.
Aspinall's gonna be still gone.
Hey, as soon as John beats Stipe, I'm like tick 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 tick.
Yeah, that's facts.
Chew the clock, baby. Chew the clock.
24-second possessions every time.
Yeah, chew the clock.
Dude, after hearing it out loud, it's definitely a better path than I gave it credit for.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess people are also thinking he retires after beating Stipe. That is another possibility.
Shit, I don't know if the Stipe fight happens within a year.
They might need to move that one to the retirement home if it takes another year or 2.
Yeah. So great list there. We'll get those out for everyone. Appreciate everyone that participated. This week we have a fight night at the Apex. Tiberia versus Spivak 2. Tiberia won the first one. I'm all over Tiberia here still.
Yeah, I haven't seen a big change in Spivak to really like propel me to bet on him.
Spivak, sizable favorite, -175. Tiberia +135.
Hello. I honestly hadn't even seen that. I freaking.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my phone. I had all my stuff on here. Dude, yeah. Is that a play of the day right there?
I don't know play of the day, but I just like Tiberia here.
And then not an amazing card, but in the feature bout of the night, Danny Barlow is a guy. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be tuning in for this guy's fight. He fought on UFC 298 in Anaheim. Just a lanky, sparky, fast striker with some heavy hands. He's not super polished yet, but you could tell that he's going to be an exciting fighter that people are going to want to watch fight throughout the years. And he's only 29, so a couple more years before he hits the prime. Yeah, I can't lie. I spent a lot more time locking in on the champs a year from now than I did this card. Your guy Youssef Zalal on the early prelims taking on Yarno Aarons. Zalal, didn't he lose this money in San Diego?
Yeah, he did.
Not our guy. Not our guy since then.
Yeah.
It's one of the only things I remember about that day is because like I was only alive for like the first fight, and I just remember UK and Bustos just kept saying, let's go to Zalal. Yeah, Zalal. So he was like the first one we were throwing in all the parlays.
Yeah. Yeah, not my guy no more.
All right, dang, another episode over 50 minutes.
We've been going.
Did you watch the Team USA game today? I didn't watch it yet. I was gonna go catch it probably right now.
Yeah, so like it was like I was like emotionally invested, bro. Like I even at one time, like when Steph hit the shot, I was like, let's fucking go. And it was just me at home, bro. Like I was just it was because like in the beginning, bro, when we're getting hit, it like felt sick to my stomach to watch. Like, bro, like we're not about to fucking lose. Like what
was
the
fuck? Joker just doing what he does on the Nuggets?
Nah, bro, they just couldn't miss. They couldn't miss.
Oh, that lefty and Bogdanovich and
and then Bogdanovich want to start talking to Braun, and then
I saw him hit the Melo celebration. I was like, that's kind of tough though. I can't even lie.
He kept looking at Melo like this, and Melo's like, "Fuck, you looking at me for?" And then
what's he supposed to do?
Then like during a timeout, they got into it, Braun and him, and Braun was like, "All right," and then Braun fucking like rattled off 6 straight. Like,
I'm gonna watch the full game right now, or at least the full second half.
Bro, like the fourth quarter was like legit, like high intensity, like a really good basketball game.
Dude, I heard it. I saw a tweet. I guess I didn't hear it, but I saw a tweet that this was the most like high level, exciting basketball game since the Game 7 Cavs Warriors.
Bro, you can't watch that fourth quarter and not like get chills or like get excited. That shit was that good.
Steph finally got in his bag.
Yeah,
finally got in his international bag.
Steph, Braun, KD, bro. Embiid was really good, and then Booker was really good too. That was the 5.
Bro, I saw everyone was saying like seeing Steph, Braun, and KD like balling out together. That really united the whole country. Like that's all America can really ask for. What was KD's quote? He said, yeah, about America. He's like, a lot of bullshit happens here, but a lot of good things happen here too, or something like that. That's facts.
Yep.
A lot more good things, I would say. They just show the bad stuff in the news.
Yeah, facts.
All right, then next week's the week, huh? Oh, I could predict what shirt you'll be wearing on our super preview. I can predict it.
Baby.
Let's go, baby. Next week, a special Dimes Fight Week, Israel Adesanya coming at you. 2-episode special. Appreciate you guys. As always, deuces.